What do a 62-year-old guy and a 9-year-old car have in common? Well, you guessed it. They both start breaking down and cost a lot of money to fix. So welcome to Hanging Out with Popsy Guy, where I got to thinking the other day, I'm 62 years old and stuff starts breaking down at 62. And what got me thinking about that is I have a 9-year-old car. It's got 140,000 miles on it. And if you looked at it, you'd think it was brand new. Really, I take good care of it. I want it to look good. It's paid for. But you know the gas cap, the door that you pull the little latch and it pops open and away you go? It stopped working, which means getting gas is a two-person job. So right now, and God bless her, my wife and I were out trying to fix it this afternoon. And so I'm standing at the back of the car and I said, okay, pull the latch. And she's pulling the latch. I'm going, nothing's happening. So I'm thinking maybe the cable that's inside detached. And she's pulling, she goes, nothing. And I look, God bless her, as I said, she's pulling on the trunk, on the hood latch. So the hood opened. So then she started pulling on the latch for the gas, and that didn't work. So just a little inconvenience, but it's going to cost some money. I tried to, my usual fix is WD-40 and duct tape. Neither of those worked. So we'll just have to schedule our gas fill-ups for a two-person job. No big deal. But here's something that's really cool. I want to tell you about our weekend. Mrs. Popsy Guy and I, on Saturday, had an impromptu date. We're like a couple of kids. Neither of us were scheduled to work. Really didn't have anything going on. I thought, well, let's do something fun. We both have golf clubs. That doesn't mean we're good at golf, trust me. There's a golf course near our house. But let's go split a bucket of balls and go out and hit some balls around. Which we did. 10-minute drive over to the course, $4 for a bucket of balls. We stretch, get her set up, and we're having a blast. Hitting the balls, 1,000 miles. Yeah, right, no. Well, we actually had a lot of fun. It was a beautiful day. So then I said, well, let's go over to the putting green and do a little putting. This is one thing you have to do about Mrs. Popsy Guy. She can putt. I'll tell you a quick story. A number of years ago for my birthday, she bought a round of golf close to where we were living at the time. And so we get to the course, sign in, get the cart. And I thought it was just going to be the two of us. And she wanted to be in the cart and drive along and watch me play, which is like not a lot of fun if you've ever seen me play. Anyway, we get there and they decided to team us up with a couple of older guys. At the time, they were older. They're probably in their mid-60s. And so we're at the first tee. And, oh boy, look at this. Well, you're going to see the camera jump and shake. I don't know if I want to do this. I'm at the beach, as you can see. It's beautiful. But look at what the tide has done to the sand. That's a 3.5, maybe foot jump. But the question is, how do you get back up? I don't know. Let's jump and find out. All right. Made it. No dislocated ankles, no MCL blowouts. Anyway, where was I? Oh, talking about golf. So we get hooked up with this older guy, a couple of older guys, and you can tell they've played for a while. They're really good at they think they're really good at golf. And they see me and my wife show up and they're like, oh, we have to be paired up with these two? Fast forward this story. We're about 7 or 8 holes into it. And I asked my wife, hey, you want to try putting? She goes, yeah, that looks like fun. So I get on the green, luckily. She grabs the putter, drains it. Drains the first putt that she hits. It's like a 20-footer. I look at the other two guys and they're just shaking their heads saying, oh, yeah, that was just pure luck. Next hole, same thing. So now we got a thing going. I get the ball on the green, she putts. Drains another one. I think it was in the middle of the back nine. These two guys are handing their putters to her and saying, "Hey, will you finish this off for me?" Anyway, so that began her love of golf. She was luckily given a full set of clubs, another blessing. And the other day was the first day we really took them out. So we had a good time. We get over to the putting green, and as Popsy Guy is meant to do, and as Mrs. Popsy Guy will attest to, we turn everything into a contest. So now we're on the putting green, and it's not just, hey, let's see who's the better putter. Oh no, this is going to be like a NHL shootout. Best of 3 rounds. We were having a wicked good time. It was so much fun. So that was that. And then we get back in the car, and guess where we ended up? You guessed it. Took a nice walk on the beach. What is a date without having the opportunity to walk on the beach? So we did that. Had a very nice long walk on the beach. We get back to the car, look at each other and say, now what do you want to do? And the first instinct to say, well, let's just go home and relax. And I said, well, we could do that, but less than 5 minutes from where we live up the street is a beer garden that we drive by 2 times a day, but never stopped in because it's kind of off the road a little bit. And you want to try that out? It's a Saturday afternoon. There's not going to be anybody there. So we did that. We pulled in. Like I said, there was really nobody there. Beautiful spot. I mean, highly recommend Gary's. It's a beer garden here in Pensacola. And what do? We get the bags for cornhole. And we turned that into a competition as well. We had a blast. We each had a beer. We're laughing, having a good time. And you're wondering, where the heck is this story going, Popsy Guy? Well, you remember that 62-year-old guy in the broken down car? The next day, all I did was hit some golf balls, putt a little bit, play a little cornhole. Man, my back is as tight as a drum. Oh, I remember, and I said this to my wife. Back in the day, I could play 2 hours of racquetball, then go and play 2 hours of ice hockey. Wake up the next day, nothing hurt. Now I'm throwing a couple of cornhole bags around, swinging a golf club, and I need therapy. So that's what a 62-year-old guy and a 9-year-old car have in common. Stuff starts to break down, which leads me to the next point. If you're of my age group, take advantage of it while you can. Take advantage of times like this where you can get out on a beautiful day and walk, whether it's on the beach, in a park, it doesn't matter. Because there will come a time when we can't do it anymore. You've all heard stories, or maybe it's happened to you as well. Somebody seemingly healthy, has everything going for them. You haven't talked to them for a while, but you figure life is great. They're on Facebook. Everything looks absolutely wonderful. And then you hear through the grapevine that they got stage 4 cancer or something like that. Something life-changing. Something they weren't expecting. Something came out of the blue. And they're devastated. And that can happen to any one of us. I'm not going to depress you and say, oh, it's just that's the reality of life. We're just not designed to live forever. In this body, on this earth anyway. We are designed to live forever. It's your choice where you want to spend that forever, but that's a discussion for another day. So like a car with 140,000 miles on it, a 62-year-old body needs a little TLC to keep going. And that's one of the things I want to make sure you understand too. There's so much to be thankful for in this world. And I say this all the time. I have a warm shower to jump in the morning. I've got a box in the kitchen full of food I can just open up. Clean sheets on my bed. So many things, just don't take them for granted. Well, I didn't want to turn this into some type of sappy, sad song, because it's not. It's a happy song. It just reminds me of all the things that God has blessed us with. The other thing we did in the date I thought you'd find kind of funny. If you're my age, this makes sense to you. Remember in 1985, it was actually July 3rd, 1985, the movie Back to the Future came out, right? It's a cult classic, as we all know. But that same date night, Saturday night, my wife and I are watching TV, and I'm just flipping through YouTube, okay? something you have to know about Popsy Guy is, I've said it in another video, might sound redundant, I live in what's called a CFZ. You may say, what is a CFZ? It's called a commercial-free zone. Can't do commercials. I actually pay the 14 bucks a month for YouTube Premium because I can't do commercials. Anyway, short story long, we're flipping through and I see this recommended show, and it was like a documentary on Back to the Future. I thought, well, that would be pretty cool. Let's watch that. Well, we watched that and we were absolutely in awe of the things we didn't know. You think after 40 years of watching a movie, you know everything there is to know about it? Not even close. The number of DeLoreans they used in the movie, the cult following that this movie has is just mind-blowing. We kept looking at each other going, I didn't know. I mean, it's a great movie, but there are people that basically, their lives revolve around the movie. Now, to be honest, it's not just the movie. There's the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's. So a lot of the folks that have the means will spend a great deal of their time and money in presenting all of the memorabilia from Back to the Future and then using the proceeds to help fund cure for Parkinson's. And that's the other heartbreaking thing that I've noticed. Michael J. Fox was 23 years old when he shot that. He was doing that, and oh my God, what's the name of that show he was in? You know, yeah, it's that one. So he would work all day on the set and then come at night and work on the set of Back to the Future. He's 23 years old, but in the movie he was playing, I think, a 17 or 18-year-old. But you look at him now, he's my age, he's 62. I haven't kept up with where he is today as far as his condition. It's not better, I know that. But here's a guy that when he was 23, doing 2 Hollywood projects at the exact same time, probably never imagined himself confined to a wheelchair at age 62. As he was sliding across the hood of that DeLorean with his VHS camera in his hand, he probably never stopped to think, you know, in another 40 years, I won't be able to do this. So when I watched that, it just made me think how grateful we have to be if we're able to do the things that we used to take for granted. That's why I wanted to share that with you. Just stop and realize how blessed you are. And you may not be in your own mind. But like my buddy Old Mike says, and I'll put a description of his channel down below, if you ain't dead, you ain't done. So just a quick catch up with you. I want to tell you what a great time me and Mrs. Popsy Guy had on our date on Saturday. You know, just playing golf, playing cornhole, watching TV together, and then waking up the next day, both of us going, oh, that never happened before. But again, I'm blessed enough to be able to do it, and I wanted to share that with you. So if nothing else, thank you very much for hanging out with Popsy Guy today. I've got some other stories I want to share with you, and here's the deal: if you hang out with me long enough, you're going to learn a lot about me. Probably a lot more than most people know, but it's our secret. You're not going to tell anybody, right? All right, well, listen, this is Popsy Guy signing off, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.